Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Zoe Williams, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Marketer Communications and Sales Awards to recognise, reward and celebrate outstanding marketers, sales professionals and communications agencies, taking place for the first time ever this year via a live stream. Now, I'm sure you'll all agree that it has been an incredibly unusual and challenging year for all of us. And personally, I'd just like to say, well done. Congratulations to everybody who's here tonight for getting through this year and also not only getting through it, but being nominated for awards. So congratulations. And what an incredible way to end what has been a really challenging year. So in advance, a huge congratulations to all this year's finalists for taking part under exceptional circumstances. On behalf of Pharma Times, a big thank you to all of our sponsors for their generosity, without whom these competitions wouldn't be possible. And they are Redbow Consulting, Star Autico, TBWA World Health, and charity partner, the Children's Hyperinsulinism Charity. And finally, our thanks to the wonderful judges and executive steering groups for your continued support and hard work throughout the process. We have 3 hashtags for this evening, one for Marketer Awards, and that is hashtag PTMOY, one for the Communications Awards, and it's hashtag PTCTOY, and for the Sales Awards, it's hashtag PT Sales Awards. And please ensure that you use the correct Twitter handle as well, and that's at Pharma Times. So now, please welcome the co-chairs of the Marketer of the Year Executive Steering Group, Sabina Syed, Managing Director at Visions for Health, and Mark Lawson, Head of Specialty Care and New Products at Mundipharma.
Hi everyone. This annual awards event marks, as we know, the talent in our industry on 3 fronts: sales, marketing and communications. We all know 2020 has been a unique and challenging time for absolutely every one of us. But the competition this year has raised its bar yet again. So not only have we seen no less than 36 different companies enter the competition, which is fantastic, we've also had just shy of 150 people take part in the competition this year. And for the first time, we've had a completely virtual competition, and it's been hugely successful. As a reminder, what is this competition about? The heart of this competition is professional development, and it is the key differentiator versus others as it tests candidates on their sales, marketing and communication skills against their peers. A year's now gone by, and so much has happened since I last presented at the awards. And so much has happened both in our industry and customer environment, and some of which have been unimaginable events, COVID-19. So what have we seen in this last year? We've seen a really, really positive light shone on the value and role the industry has to play in the search for a COVID vaccine, which we're hearing more and more increasingly in the news now. And also what we've seen is repurposing of existing medicines to reduce the severity of the complications associated with COVID-19. We've also seen person-centred or patient-centred care being elevated, and COVID has sadly starkly reminded us of the health inequalities in our society. We've seen the absolute acceleration of the use of digital technology in many ways, but perhaps more obviously the exponential rise in patient consultations, remote patient consultations, changes in the way healthcare professionals are also interacting with each other, and of course how we as an industry have changed to adapt quickly to an omni-channel approach to communicate and engage with our audiences. And as we look into 2021, what we probably will see is an austere time ahead that will only further challenge us, our businesses, but importantly, challenge us to continue to improve our way of working around marketing, sales, communications, and our market access environment. But that's just scratching the surface, as we know. But I don't want to dwell on the future. Let's see what the competition has actually done this year. And I'm going to hand over to Mark, who's going to share some highlights from the competition from 2020.
Thanks, Sabina. Firstly, thank you to Jonathan Dancer, who created his usual ingenious case studies. I love the singles and communications case study because of its link to this year's charity. All the case studies enabled entrants to demonstrate how their commercial approach has been augmented because of COVID-19 crisis. The high-performing singles contestants and the communications teams chose the optimal indication aligned to an increased anticipation of austerity, and their high-level strategy was complemented with creative but realistic omni-channel tactics aligned to the capability of the organisation, but also the changes in customer channel preference. In the team event, the successful teams were well organised, had clear roles, and worked cross-functionally to develop a robust marketing plan for the 5 different panels that was appropriate for the size of the organisation in the case and the seismic changes we've seen in the macro environment. Finally, in the sales competition, successful entrants were empathetic with customers regarding the impact of COVID-19 on healthcare resource utilisation and appropriately positioned the benefits of the brand in the case so they were aligned to customer needs. So all that's left to say is Pharma Times Media would like to extend its thanks to the Executive Steering Committee, the judges, the sponsor, and this year's chosen charity, the Children's Hyperinsulinism Charity, and of course the entrants, all without whom this competition couldn't have happened this year. To all our finalists, we wish you the very best of luck, and here's to next year's competition. I encourage you all to spread the word to your peers and to make it even bigger next year than this year.
And I hope, Mark, what we'll see next year is that we're all meeting in person and celebrating in person. So here's to a new normal in 2021.
Thank you, Sabina and Mark, for that insight. And now let's move on to the awards. The first set of categories this evening are in the Sales Awards. The finals day this year was conducted very differently via Zoom, and the finalists had to face a live challenge, present to judges and face-to-face role players, asking some very challenging questions. The first category is for the Key Account Manager of the Year, and the judges and role players in this category were Anne Ballard, Mike Cooper, David Garman-Jones, Fiona Hozarski, Sharon King, David Payne, Beverly Thompson and Matt Winchester. The Key Account Manager finalists are Julian Dowson, Gallon Pharmaceuticals, Nadia Gardner, Gallon Pharmaceuticals, Richard Harris, Servier Laboratories, Tara Kravisky, Servier Laboratories, Scott Nicholson, Astellas, Dora Terry, Accord, and Anthony Wynne, Servier Laboratories. Moving on to the winner, and to announce the successful candidate, please welcome David Garman-Jones, who's chairman of Decidian.
And the winner for this category is Richard Harris from Servier.
Thank you, David, and congratulations to Richard. The second category is for Secondary Care Sales Professional of the Year,